Yo, what is up guys? It's Pedro here, and today I'm making a video on who is Scott Turner and why his offensive perfectly with the Redskins. If you guys are new, subscribe for Redskins and NFL content. So let's get right into it. And also, I got this video idea from Juan Gotti, so go check him out. Great Redskins YouTuber. But let's get started. So, like I said, I'm gonna give you an overview of Scott Turner, what he did in the NFL, and prior to that, who he helped change their careers around because he has done that with receivers and quarterback. And then we're gonna go over his offensive scheme. So Scott Turner is 37 years old, son of former Redskins coach North Turner. He coached the Redskins in 1994. Also coached with the Cowboys as a coordinator. North Turner uh, was a high school coach too. That was his first really gig, and then he worked with the Pittsburgh Panthers. And then finally in 2011 went to the NFL as an offensive quality control coach in 2011 with Ron Rivera and the Panthers, and then spent about 5 years with the Vikings and Browns as QB and wide receiver coaches. He helped change a lot of careers there, which I will address in a couple minutes, and also worked with Michigan in 2017 and kind of uh, use some of his Michigan's offense in the Panthers offense later in 2018. So some of the players he changed careers or helped get their careers better. In 2018 with the Panthers, he was a QB coach and got Cam Newton to his highest completion percentage of all time at 68%, and Cam Newton has usually hovered under that 60% mark, and he got to 68%, and he attributed that to Scott Turner and his mechanics, which helped him out a lot, which is really good. And I really think he can do that with Dwayne Haskins. Here are some stats of the players on the Panthers last year under Scott Turner. He was a QB's coach for the Panthers last year before taking over as offensive coordinator for the last 4 games, but we'll talk about that later. With the Browns as a wide receiver coach, he helped Josh Gordon go from 800 yards in his rookie year to about 1,646 yards and 9 touchdowns. That sounds very familiar to around Terry McLaurin's stats in his rookie year. Terry's stats were actually a little better, around 919 yards and 7 touchdowns. And he was the receivers coach for the Browns and helped him double his yard total and get him to, I think, leading the league in receiving yards, which if he can just get Terry McLaurin to increase his total by 400 yards, that would be a huge, huge improvement for Terry McLaurin. Get him into that conversation of top 5, top 10 receiver in the NFL, which I think he can become because he is a little older than most second-year receivers. So because he does put a lot of stuff from the Coryell offense into his offense, a lot of vertical threats. So I think, or a lot of vertical plays, which I think he will do in Washington, and he did do in Carolina. And in Minnesota as a quarterbacks coach, he helped Sam Bradford, set a completion percentage record at 71%, and also helped Teddy Bridgewater become a solid quarterback in his first years. Really had Teddy Bridgewater as one of the best young up-and-coming quarterbacks before he unfortunately had that knee injury, which really ended his career in Minnesota before taking a couple years off, going to the Saints, and finally getting a big contract with the Carolina Panthers. So those are some of the players that he helped turn their careers around, which is very fortunate. Good thing that he's coming to the Redskins because I do think he can do that with Dwayne Haskins, help increase Terry McLaurin's production, and maybe some of these running backs. And you're going to see, I'm going to show you guys how he might use players like Antonio Gibson, like Christian McCaffrey. They used him. These are the stats of players last year under Scott Turner. So Christian McCaffrey had the best year of his career, 1,400 rushing yards, 15 touchdowns, and then had 4 receiving touchdowns and 1,000 yards. Incredible year. DJ Moore had another great year, 1,200 yards, 4 touchdowns. Curtis Samuel also had a good year. But like I said, Scott Turner was the offensive coordinator for the last 4 games of the season. And yes, they did not do good at all. They averaged around 15 points a game, but that was when they had Kyle Allen and Will Grier as their starters, and Will Grier was absolutely atrocious when he played. Um, Scott Turner had great plays where he created routes where the receivers were wide open for touchdowns or huge gains, but the quarterbacks would just overthrow him or miss the throw completely, which kind of killed their offense. And also, when you're playing from behind, you have to pass a lot more, which can get you even worse. As while he was an offensive coordinator for the Panthers last year in 4 games, he passed the ball 68% of the time on first down, which is a lot. That is a lot. But also, like I said, when you're playing from behind, you pass the ball a lot more. So those numbers are a little inflated, but it still means he's going to pass the ball a lot, which I really enjoy. I like passing. We really, the last couple years, haven't passed a lot, and we'll see how Haskins does, but we also have some good runners. We'll see how that works out. And he passed the ball 66% of the time in total. His offensive scheme is fit to he tries to game plan for the player's strengths, and I really like that his scheme is built on the player's specific strengths. You guys, here's an article by Hogs Haven. You guys can look at some of that, but while I'm talking it over, but he's going to use these players and use their strengths to their advantage, like Antonio Gibson, who can run the ball, catch the ball, can do really everything, and I really think that the Redskins are going to try to use him like they used Christian McCaffrey last year. Obviously, we're not. Antonio Gibson is not going to have that production at all in his rookie year, if not his career, because that's around 2,500 yards from scrimmage. But he can use him and maybe get him to like 450 rushing yards and 400 receiving yards in his first year, or maybe even more receiving yards. And I think his Antonio Gibson's going to get a lot more playing time in 2021 once we probably part ways with Adrian Peterson, because by then, hopefully, Darius Geis, Bryce Love, and Antonio Gibson have emerged as great players. But yeah, I really am very excited to see how he uses him. And he also has confidence in Dwayne Haskins. He said something Dwayne's done a good job of in the past and in college too is just being able to get the ball out quickly and kind of distribute the ball to the playmakers and let them make plays for him. I really like that. And he also said that he is confident in Dwayne Haskins and likes what he's done. He just needs to put in the work, and that is exactly what Dwayne Haskins has done. And I'm very, very excited to see how he bounces back. Scott Turner has a lot of pieces to play with this year. He's got AGG, Antonio Gibson, Terry McLaurin, Steven Sims, Kelvin Harmon, Darius Geis, Bryce Love, Adrian Peterson. All these guys, I'm probably forgetting someone, but all these guys, and I'm just really, really excited to see how they use him and how our offense gets better. I was a little upset when we let go Kevin O'Connell, but I'm starting to warm up to Scott Turner, and I'm really excited to see how he uses our great pieces that we got in the draft and before that. Like I said, he really likes the vertical threat. He used that a lot with DJ Moore, and keep in mind, he only called 4 games with the Panthers, which is a very small sample size, obviously, and when you're playing with Will Grier and Kyle Allen, it's not a very good sample size. And if he was playing with Cam Newton for 6 games or 7, 8 games, and that was his stats, then okay, maybe Scott Turner wasn't a great hire. But he had Kyle Allen and Will Grier for 4 games, which is not a good sample size. Here's something about DJ Moore that how he used him. He did something similar for lead wide receiver DJ Moore, Turner, recognizing the shortcomings of his QBs, like I said. He fed Moore balls. He fed DJ Moore passes on intermediate routes across the middle, his strong suit. Moore is not the sort of wide receiver with a well-developed route tree, but short passes taking advantage of his ability to rack up yards after the catch helped him finish as a top 10 receiver in 2019. And I think that's exactly what he can do for Terry McLaurin in his second year. And also Steven Sims, Kelvin Harmon. I'm really excited. Let me know what you guys think about this hire. I'm starting to warm up to it, and I'm happy and I'm excited to see how he uses Antonio Gibson, all of our weapons, but more importantly Antonio Gibson, because I think Antonio Gibson can be that type of player like Alvin Kamara and maybe even Christian McCaffrey. I think that's a little bit of a stretch. Also, he used Curtis Samuel a lot in the run game, which wasn't used before really when he was an offensive coordinator. And that could be something that happens with Steven Sims, because Steven Sims did that a lot with Kevin O'Connell, but I think he might even do it more this year with Scott Turner. Again, thank you guys for watching. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please smash the like button, and also go check out Juan Gotti NFL Talking Sports channel. Great Redskins YouTuber. Yeah, and peace. Also, if you can, join channel memberships. I would really appreciate it. Link in the description. Peace.